As a longtime fan of the Star Wars saga, I find myself deeply moved by the portrayal of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Having grown up with the original trilogy, I must say that this film offers a nuanced and thoughtful exploration of Luke's character that resonates with me on a personal level, which the storyline of Luke Skywalker in his sequel trilogy has stirred debates, but his actions in Star Wars The Last Jedi align beautifully with his most memorable quote, Return of the Jedi, upholding Anakin Skywalker's redemption and legacy. Despite the broadened scope of the Star Wars timeline since Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker continues to symbolize the epitome of a Jedi for many. This might explain why some viewers felt uneasy seeing Luke living in seclusion on Ahch-To, believing that the Jedi were fundamentally flawed and incapable of making a significant difference in the galaxy. As a diehard Star Wars fan, I must admit that the sequel movies did have their fair share of issues, some of which were intertwined with Luke Skywalker's narrative. However, many of the moments in The Last Jedi that sparked the most controversy can be traced back to Luke's actions and beliefs throughout the Star Wars universe. And two incidents in particular caused a significant stir, but upon closer examination, they actually solidified Luke's understanding of the Jedi path and his commitment to honoring his father's legacy. Anakin's redemption redefined what it means to be a Jedi. Luke saved his father by not fighting him, but by turning off his lightsaber and letting it fall away, choosing the tranquility and harmony that embodied the Jedi. This was a profound lesson about the Jedi, challenging much of what had previously been thought about them. The backlash to Luke's rejection of his old lightsaber, and this is the point. In The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker's behavior with his old lightsaber mirrored a theme from Return of the Jedi when he discarded it after Rey gave it to him on Ahch-To, and previously in Return of the Jedi, Luke's act of turning off and abandoning his saber symbolized a rejection of Emperor Palpatine's demands. Similarly, Luke's reaction upon seeing the lightsaber he had lost during his battle with Vader in The Empire Strikes Back resonated with those actions. Luke appears to tease Rey for thinking she can defeat the entire First Order with a lightsaber. However, this is not indicative of him acting out of character or questioning his former role as a Jedi, and instead, it's a refutation of a common misconception about the Jedi. Contrary to the popular belief that the Jedi are warriors, a term Obi-Wan Kenobi used to describe Anakin in A New Hope, Luke's interpretation of the Jedi is still centered around peace and understanding. He recalls that it was these core values, not combat, that saved his father. Luke defeats Kylo Ren by playing to that false idea as well. In the final scene of The Last Jedi, Luke's encounter with Kylo Ren underscores these values too. That's similar to Rey. Kylo Ren anticipated a lightsaber duel with Luke, which turned out to be beneficial for Luke. Given his intense desire to fight Luke and his overwhelming emotions of anger and hatred, Kylo Ren was sufficiently distracted that he missed the indications that the person before him wasn't truly Luke at all. And Luke didn't plan to engage Kylo Ren in combat. Instead, he employed astral projection and uncommon force ability, primarily to divert Kylo, allowing the resistance to flee in a way that contrasts with popular Jedi beliefs. Luke's approach was not one of a warrior, but rather that of a genuine Jedi. Ultimately, Luke overcame his adversary and managed this victory without using a lightsaber against him. Luke remained steadfast in his understanding of what ultimately redeemed his father. And he held on to that belief throughout his life. Given Anakin's tumultuous journey within the Jedi Order, depicted in the prequel trilogy, this was an ideal method to preserve Anakin's legacy. In the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Luke's storyline is often criticized, yet this view overlooks how his actions in discarding his lightsaber before Rey and refusing to fight Kylite Ren echo his most significant moment in the original trilogy. Writing his death, in fact, sometime he accused the eventual poet. Throughout the series, Luke demonstrated a commitment to peace, acceptance, and faith in the Force, rather than wielding like a lightsaber in combat. These seemingly contentious scenes in The Last Jedi can be seen as Luke Skywalker's way of upholding his father, Anakin Skywalker's legacy, even after the events of Return of the Jedi. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, buddy.